This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
We're going to watch the highest rated movie we've ever watched on the list.
Okay.
Can you believe it? And we actually got to see it in theaters. Don't you feel special?
Right.
We're alive for this moment.
I don't know.
Oh, well, number 12 on the IMDb Top 250 list is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's in theaters right now. It is currently Sony Animated Studios' highest grossing movie ever. It's the fourth highest grossing movie of the year and still climbing. It's made like twice as much as the original one so far.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's making lots of money.
It's got a mind of
really
its
good
own,
reviews.
this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And TC sounds like he's on the fence about it. Do you remember?
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence?
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
What? All right, it's your turn to go first. Let's go on the fence first.
I guess,
So,
yes.
I thought the visuals were great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought the story was shit. Well, not shit,
Oh,
but
shit.
not good.
Ooh.
It wasn't good. I thought, there was a lot of fluff in there. I thought the sort of dialogue was too cutesy. They were too funny, too quirky,
Spider-Man's
It's
quippy.
too much damn fun is what it was.
It was,
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind
right.
of dumb fun. So, again, I thought the overall production value was awesome. The sound was really good. You can get lost in the comic book feel of it for sure. That stuff was all awesome. It was just the story that I didn't think was, that great. I think that's what did it for me. So, I was there and I was trying to follow the story, and it was easy enough. It was, bland. There wasn't much to it. And I just so it didn't really do it for me story wise. But as far as the rest of it, I did enjoy going to the movie theater to watch it. I definitely happy that I saw it in the theater. Yeah.
It's going to lose a lot, I think, going to a TV screen.
I don't think it's going to make much on, it's not going to.
I think it'll do
No, I didn't
fine.
mean money wise. I just think it's not going to make many waves in the, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is it wasn't good as far
I
as
was started
story
saying
and-
words, but I hope my brain was going to catch up, but then it didn't.
Yeah,
So-
but it didn't.
It's not
But
really
it
going to
didn't.
have an impact. Maybe
Right.
5 years from now, nobody's going to be talking about it or something. I don't know. Is
Yeah,
that
pretty
what you're
much.
kinda
I think the
trying to
next
go
one will probably be really good because they'll have to make it better story wise. I don't know.
after? Yeah. Are you just?
It's already
are you
making
mad that
waves,
It was a
apparently.
cliffhanger.
It's already what?
It's already making waves, apparently.
What do you mean in that sense?
All the other studios
again,
besides Sony Animation is the first one to kind of stick their neck out with this new type of animation. And I can get into what makes it different later, but Pixar and DreamWorks and all these companies,
did
they
you see the new Puss in Boots movie?
No.
The latest one? You
No.
probably didn't. It's actually good. But during all the fight scenes, they go to, they drop the frame rate on all the fight scenes. It's really terrible, actually. It
Is
doesn't
it?
fit with the movie at
Oh.
all. Yeah, it's actually, it feels
People are
going to
start doing that more frequently. That was one of the 3 examples that after the first
Right.
Spider-Man movie came out, that
Right.
it was that one, it was Mitchell versus the Machines, and it was this new Spider-Man movie,
Yeah.
the 3.
Mitchell versus the Machines was also they were very much, some of the same people were from the original Spider-Man on Mitchell's versus the Machines, right?
Yeah.
Or at least some of the directors or writers or both.
Animators, production people.
And that's a really fun one to watch too. If you haven't seen that one's really fun.
But
That-
it's,
that
I mean,
one's just
Pixar
very
is going to start doing it. DreamWorks is going to
Yeah.
start doing it. It's going to be a trend. And the weird thing is, instead of the Pixar version is an ultra realistic version, is what they call it, where they use these shaders and renderers that use real life physics, like lighting and fabric and all that stuff. They use those realistic ones, or they used to, in everything. So it was the Pixar look is what animators used to call it, and that was the gold standard, and they'd strive for it and stuff.
Yeah.
But then then people tried to do movies that were different, like the Christmas Carol movie was supposed to be different. Bolt was supposed to be different, but by the end of production, it ended up coming out like the Pixar movies.
Or
because
the Polar Express was supposed to be big, huge, big deal different because they did all of the character modeling stuff, and it ended up looking just kind of creepy.
Yep.
But yeah.
So they've tried for a while. Spider-Man finally did it, realized it could make a ton of money, and now they're actually going to go for it.
But the way they did it seems because it shows such a love of comic books. It shows such a love of it tries to sort of blend, being a live action movie with being a comic book, and that's why it seems to work so damn well for this particular for a comic book character.
Mhm.
Like that's why it works really well. I don't know if it needs to. It doesn't seem even like in Mitchell's and the Machines. It's kind of fun and kooky, but it doesn't feel like so at home the way it does with these two movies in terms of the style. It just fits it so well.
It's weird too because there's so many styles, especially in the second one when compared to the first one. I mean, you have like hand drawn, like the first villain that's like the bird guy that's destroying the museum. He's like a hand drawn cutout guy, and they just like throw him on top of everything else.
Right. And they make fun of him for how he looks too. But
the Spider Punk guy is like newspaper cutouts and stuff. And throw him out in there. Yeah, it's just like in the first like 3 minutes of the movie makes you feel like you might lose your mind because the editing and the sound is just like so fast.
Yeah.
You know, it's made for like, you can kind of tell it's made for like an ADD generation where everyone grew up with screens, you know, and the internet and stuff. And I'm not saying any of this in a bad way. I think I like to absorb it. And it's the kind of thing I've seen it twice in theaters now where I'm going to watch it again because it's so dense with stuff visually specifically that like, you know, you can't pick up on everything. There are scenes that I can't wait to pause it because there's like when he goes into the spider world, whatever, and everybody just has a little comic book floaty thing over their head, and there's just like 1,000 of them, and you can't read any of them because it's moving so fast.
Right.
But I'm sure they say something, and I kind of want to figure it out.
There are apparently
that's an interesting way.
From the Wikipedia, there were 280 variations of Spider-Man in the film. 95
See, I think like that
of
kind of
which
stuff
are
is
unique
impressive.
Named characters.
I really do. I wish the story was better. Because like I found myself not giving a fuck about any of these characters on screen whatsoever.
Oh, I did.
And they keep inserting them over time. But when like the storyline gets a little boring, here comes a new character.
Here comes a whole new one.
Right. And then you're like, fuck, who's this guy?
There's
right?
a lot
and then,
to absorb.
And then there's, then you go through another 30 minutes of this guy and you're like, man, this fucking story's dragging on.
I liked each of the characters. I really enjoyed the different ones that they
had.
But
I mean, this happened to me in the first one too, like where they start inserting so many people that you get lost a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then like, it's almost like I kept thinking, well, now I have to wait until the next one to like learn about what these characters are actually going to do, right? And so like they've set us up to keep us hooking into the next movie, and I don't know. I felt like I felt like I was too aware of it.
Right. And never
rather than being
has any movie ever had more introductions, right?
Right. Yeah, it just keeps on happening throughout.
Yeah, it's a running. Their introductions are it's a running joke, basically. Well, it's been by Rowdy Young Spider, you know.
Hey, it's Spider Horse. Why does a horse have a mask?
Right.
Yeah. There's so many one-liners that come by really fast too. That there's a lot of really good jokes that I have missed. Or I mean, I had to I was like, what? But anyway.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Spider Cat. He spits spider webs out of his mouth. It's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. Spider Cat. I mean, there's a lot of clever stuff in there. Yeah. It really is. Sometimes it's just there to be there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good. No.
Being there is a good place
I think it's
to
good
be.
It's good for all sorts of crowd, right? I mean, you can kind of go at any age at this one and sort of understand
Spider-Man's
it.
supposed to be like quippy, so it sort of works that every single one of them is like doing these one-liners because that's kind of part of Spider-Man's thing.
Spider-Man,
so,
right.
Right. So it sort of works that every single one of these characters is kind of quippy, in their slightly different way, but yeah.
And they point that out in the movie too, don't they? Someone like makes fun of him for always having like a quick
always
joke.
having a witty line or whatever. Yeah.
But I mean, I tried to get everyone in my family to watch this. My brother went with my mom, and she hated it. She's older, obviously.
Right, my mom hated it too. She tried to say nice things, but couldn't really.
My mom didn't try to say nice things. She just came out of it like pissed. She's like, "What the hell was that?
Why did you make me see this?
I've been assaulted."
Yeah, she hated the animation style. She was like, "It looked like a comic book." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You didn't like that." She just didn't like that. Personal preferences.
She's like, "That was 40 years ago. So no, I don't find comic books cool." Yeah,
this is like new way to do it. I don't know. I love this movie. This movie's really good. I thought the story was really good. I really related to the character. I thought the story of like Miles' family and everything was.
See, Denny's a simple man.
It balanced the action and the frenzy in like a pretty grounded area. And I also liked I liked Gwen's relationship with her father.
Right. You know, because I really liked the book, and I loved how I was surprised and really loved how it all started with Gwen.
Yeah, and it's not like
ended with her.
It's not like any of those specific storylines that they give you in those little lulls in the movie are very unique, but I think they're really well acted, and I like it how like the animation style changes for those scenes, and I like it how it kind of develops the characters. Like I mean I don't know how else to say it. I liked the the story of the movie like entirely. I thought all of it worked really well, and especially looking back over how much it does, I'm surprised that I was able to like enjoy the slower parts, I guess, because most of the movie looking back at it is like insane animation with like fast cuts, lots of colors, just really fast animation. If I was like to describe the movie in one thing that sticks out is like the animation and editing is like really quick. The action is really quick. It like trusts you to follow it. There's action sequences that last maybe like a fraction of a second, and then you're moving on to something else. But like you're able to follow it somehow.
Because there's nothing to follow.
There's plenty to follow. What are you talking about?
Story. The story is very much like one thing happens on screen that then leads to another thing, but there's no like reason why the character's doing something. It's all based on whatever the situation and scenario is, whatever thing is coming down from the sky, whatever other character they're introducing. That's what I think is maybe that's why it's easy to follow. There's nothing being said or done. It's just very one thing happens to another, very utility based is what I thought it was, but that's just,
I would totally disagree. I'm trying to think of how you could even think that, but that's okay.
Wow. Just completely incomprehensible to me, but that's
It
fine.
is.
It's fine.
Because I mean, you're saying, I don't know if we want to get into this, but you're saying that you don't think that characters have motivations before the actions happen. You just think the action happens and then therefore the characters react.
Right.
But all right. So, but the whole thing starts out with with the relationship between Gwen and Peter in her universe. And I guess the action is that he turns into a lizard and she has to kill him. I don't know. I guess I don't really see a problem with anything that happened here. I kind of want you to describe
that's
why.
It. And that's what it, right? Because you accepted the fact that it's just going to be much like a comic book, right? Like there's something that's external that's happening, and that's going to dictate all the rest of the things. Because even when she becomes into this part of the movie where she has to go do something, it's because the external characters just were introduced and brought in this whole other story that she now gets pushed into. It's not like she's doing something that's motivating the next thing, right? Like she's being summoned by these 4 other people. And that's very much similar to the other parts of the story too, right?
I agree that there's a bit of chaos sort of to this sort of the like
right.
she just gets
and
like pulled
and
into
the
something.
Chaos is just what creates the next scenario.
But to me, it's still interesting how they thread it all together in the sense of the whole Spider-Verse idea and how there's a whole
right. Again, that stuff's all pretty cool because it's world building.
Yeah,
but as far as the story that took place within this,
I didn't see it.
I
see your point, but
it.
it didn't. I still felt like the characters had their own motivations and things they were struggling with enough. So, like with Gwen having to struggle with. I mean, it's all about the whole like what you do for your friends, but also like how you try to do the right thing and protect people, or what if you have to sacrifice somebody in order to do your job, and that those themes kept coming up enough that I thought it made it really interesting that they're struggling with these same issues all the time. And I like that. I thought the
themes were there.
Yeah.
Themes were there for sure.
Okay, so we had good world building, good themes,
good acting, good
right?
animation,
Good
but no
sound.
plot and no character development.
I think by definition, there's a plot in this movie. I'm just going to say that.
No,
if you were to define plot, I think it might be in this movie.
There is, but I would say if TC's wanting to say like there isn't as much character development here in this sort of middle part. It's not the same as like in our first movie where you get to watch Miles develop, like the big
something happens to him.
Character development is
right.
He deals with it. He gets he has to build his confidence, and he has a real. You could say there's a real character arc here. You're right. I think TC's right though in the sense that in this middle part we're seeing them deal with stuff, not change necessarily. Right.
Well, we're seeing their relationship develop.
The change comes in the next
but to
movie.
Some extent,
the change comes in the next movie.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying within this one story, I didn't see much of development for the main character who was the focal point of the entire thing.
Right,
Nothing really changed other than new people were added in and we had to learn about all these new people, which then brought on story. But the story was very much like...
The story is much more action focused. I think, that makes sense.
And it was set up.
Yeah.
It was particularly mostly set up, and
Right.
we're going to have all that payoff in
Probably,
the next
hopefully.
movie.
But I really
I
liked
hope.
it. I still liked all the.
Now, that's not to say that I didn't like it. I'm just saying that the story there wasn't.
That's fair.
Not acceptable. You can't criticize any part of it, or we'll just sit here and try to question you until you give up.
No. But I would try to compare it like what, because I like this movie. I like the first one very much too. If I were to say, well, if there were things that were better about the first one, I mean, the first one was new. This was new. I hadn't seen something like this. So that always is going to give it.
Use the word that.
Points.
That for the first one, this for this new one.
The way it looked. The whole approach, the whole style.
Right, in the first one.
Was in the first one.
In
was
that
new to
one.
me. So in that one. In that
we're
one, it
in
did
this
that thing.
one. The other one was that
it
one.
did that thing. This thing that shot. Okay. I was trying
to
make a
clarify
point.
what you're saying.
I still think
is
it's a
all.
good point. I just can't speak correctly. That's right. Anyway. But the other thing in the first one was that the style of it was new, the look of it was new. I did like the music a lot better in the first one, but I haven't really given the second one like soundtrack a listen or anything like that, which I had time with the first one. Like I watched it several times and then had the soundtrack.
It's good too.
The other part is, I imagine I'm sure it's like they've got really big names with it and so on. But the first one also had a lot of with development of Miles. And it was a real centerpiece of the film about how Miles like gets confidence, like gets all these things happen to him, has to deal with the different role models that he has, whether it's his uncle or what his father wants him to be, or his uncle is kind of a bad guy. That wasn't, you're right. So I really think TC has a good point there. I mean, I don't fault the second movie for this because this one felt much more action packed. And what I did like about this one, I really liked the other characters that came in. I felt like they were just a lot more interesting and fun. Like the Indian Spider-Man was really entertaining.
He was really entertaining.
He was really entertaining. Punk Spider-Man was really entertaining.
Yeah.
And in comparison to say like Spider-Ham or Spider-Man Noir, they weren't nearly as fleshed out or they were more like jokes, it seemed. So in this one, I felt like those characters that they brought in were just a lot cooler, just a lot more like neat to watch. Like Punk Spider-Man was awesome. Yeah. In particular, his whole
I feel like that
great,
guy in real life exists too, just like that. You know, every punk that we've ever thought about in our day, he encompasses it.
So, and that's what was remarkable to me was they did a remarkably good job of throwing these other characters at you and then giving you this. And the other thing, the trick sort of, at least that worked for me, is then all those the literally like tens of others, if not like 100 or so others that they show. And you feel like they have depth too, because they've shown you a slice of it. And so when all these other ones come in, it just feels very real because they've given like the care to each of the individual ones that they've shown you. So then when you're in Spider City, whatever the hell it's called, I don't know what the city is actually called, but the city with all the spider people.
Is it not Spider
World?
World?
Not just people. Is it Spider World?
I don't know.
Is that what it's called?
I mean, we'll call it Spider World.
I think it's like Earth
be.
something, isn't it? It's like Earth and then a number afterwards.
Earth,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Not sure.
But I'm not sure what they
watched
call
it twice.
The
no idea.
place. Yeah. See, it moves so fast.
Also, if all of this has existed the whole time, why are we just finding out about it in the second one with like random?
Because we only followed Miles in the first one.
Well, I know, but like again, I just it's starting from scratch, but in the middle. I don't know. I see. I'm having trouble with all of it.
Yeah. So you're right. It's Earth 928.
Aha.
That's where the spider people are, and it's not fair to just say people because there's like horses and stuff.
And that's where the the home world of the evil Spider-Man, right? Or like the quote unquote somewhat bad Spider-Man,
good Spider-Man, or
the
whatever.
Spider-Man that ended up killing an entire planet because he missed his daughter, right? That was that storyline there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
he's kind of a bad guy.
Yeah. Well, he certainly becomes the bad guy towards the end. But yeah, I thought it was. I was amazed by it. I thought it was really remarkable. It was very, and in a way, it's really nice how it's different from the first one. It has a different. I don't even know how they're going to decide to approach the third one.
They're just going to keep making them, right? They set this one up was the beginning of the next 4 or 5.
No, what they're doing is they're summing up this.
Seems like
what they're doing is they're summing up this plot in the next one. There's only going to be one more
the trilogy,
but they're going to spin off. A woman only.
There's like a Spider Woman,
right? There's 3 other Spider Women, or there's 2 other Spider Women. So Gwen's going to be one, and there's 2 others that they're going to make 3 more movies in this universe with them as the lead characters. And then
so this was the first one, essentially.
So they're going to build a whole universe around this. If it keeps making money, they'll just keep building in this universe.
They certainly have a cast of characters they can draw upon.
I know, right?
Yeah, I love the Peter Parker being back to the he was still one of my favorites from the first one. Yeah, being the dad. That was fun.
Was the baby stuff too cutesy for you, TC? It was a slight bit
funny.
Cutesy.
It was cutesy, but it was cute. So it was fine. I mean, it's
Yeah. And my kids
there's a lot
liked
going on in this.
It was a long time for them to sit, for Alex in particular, to sit in a theater. He really liked it. I was getting a little worried at the 2-hour mark. He was starting to bounce around on his seat a lot, but they really
so was I.
Yeah, I could definitely feel the ending.
Long.
It's long, and when it was,
wow, is this really gonna keep going, huh?
Yeah, I had a thought in the theater of it's building up towards a climax. I'm like, it's over 2 hours for sure. We don't have time for this.
There's no climax.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to wait till the next one.
Yeah.
I remember walking out of theater being like, motherfucker.
That's why you're sour. You don't like being cut short.
Oh no, I don't like being built up for 2.5 hours and then have no payoff and then have to realize I got to come back to get the next fucking bit.
They're getting your money.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not getting it again.
Oh, they will. You'll forget and they'll make us go.
You're gonna go see the third one. It's gonna be an event. The third one will be now at this point with this one doing so well.
Yeah, this one's already. I mean, it's made twice as much as the original, and it's only been out a month. It's fucking crazy.
Insane. It's insane.
Yeah, and it actually. So it was number 1 the weekend it came out. And then Elemental came out, and then another movie came out, and then 3 weeks later, this movie was number 1 again.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So 3 or 4 weeks after this movie came out, it was number 1 again because its staying power week to week was so high, and all these other movies coming out hit 1.
I'm sure it's because kids want to see it twice.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
I'm an adult man.
Yeah.
I paid money. I probably spent $50.
Well, I would be happy to go see this one again. Just there's so much to see. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how Barbie does. Barbie might just really take over
The question is, do you see Barbie or Oppenheimer opening day? Because they're opening the same day.
Really not really.
Probably Oppenheimer.
Wanting to see either.
What? Come on. Going to see both. Double
really,
feature.
Really, oh, yeah? You want to see both of them?
Yeah, Oppenheimer first. It's going to be 3 hours long. And then Barbie. Cap it off with Barbie. Yeah, I feel better
afterwards.
How long
is Barbie?
Probably 35 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How much can you do with Barbie?
How much can you do? Yeah. Right. Probably a lot. They'll make some sappy love story out of it.
Yeah. It's going to be weird and sweet and colorful.
Yeah, it's funny how Elemental did not do well, relatively speaking. And by most accounts, it's just kind of a mediocre sort of Pixar film.
Yep.
Didn't Flash do pretty poorly?
Yep. Surprised they released that one at all. What with the lead character being a criminal and all?
Oh, is he?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
The DC Universe canceled a bunch of movies and they kept the Ezra Miller starring Flash going, even though he allegedly, quote unquote, but pretty certain he did, kidnapped some people and broke into people's houses and did property damage and it's just generally kind of what
just
it seems
generally
like a
an
psycho.
asshole.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah, but the movie looked good, so DC got to push it out.
I guess so. Let's get it out here before the trial.
Wow. Oh, he's fucked. Yeah, he's a shithead, huh?
Are you looking up at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it not good, huh?
No, not good at all.
Nope, it's bad stuff. It's pretty bad. It's unique too, right? He's not like the
this is a strange set of circumstances.
Right, it seems like a lot of people kind of do the same bad thing. Nope, this guy's doing unique bad things.
This guy's doing really weird bad things. Yeah. I know.
Makes you think he's extra bad.
Huh.
Spider-Verse.
Good stuff.
Is that all we got to say about the movie?
Probably.
I mean, just love the editing, love the art, love all the voice acting was awesome. So yeah, just so well put together and so incredible. So much work went into this. It's ridiculous.
Too much work. We can get into that.
Yeah. I mean, there's that aspect of it, but certainly the people that were doing this, you get a sense of a love of this stuff. They're really passionate about this stuff, that they really like comic books. They like comic book characters, and
but do they
really
like working 11-hour days, 7 days a week for a year straight?
Probably not.
No, some of them
probably
couldn't hack
not
it.
necessarily, and not getting paid probably
Getting
proportionately
paid
to how much work you're going to get doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good old Hollywood. Hey, let's make some more money off the backs of everyone.
So I got some stories on that. There's actually a pretty good article, if it's true, and so this will be fun because I think this article it's 4 of the animators that came out. They didn't release their names or anything, but there were 4 animators they found that ended up quitting from the production of this movie because of how hard it was and how badly they were treated. And Sony Animated Studios has come out against those 4 people, saying it's not true, etc. But I think we can figure out if it's going to be true, because the way what the animator said in this article was that over 100 animators, so there were over 1,000 people that worked in this movie. They didn't break it down between animators and computer programmers and whatever else, but 100 animators is a lot, and they quit before the production of this movie was done because they said 11-hour days, 7 days a week for a year before the movie came out.
Damn.
And they blame it mostly on Phil Lord, which is one of the 2 Lord and Miller people who are like the big producers of these movies, who got made their name with the Lego movie. They're big, and they did the 22 and 23 Jump Street movies. Like they're pretty big in the name of comedy in terms of production and directing and writing. Actually, they did some of that too. But the Lord guy, according to the story, he wasn't good at doing storyboards in this movie for some reason with just storyboards. He had the animators fully render and animate the scenes, and then he would give rewrites to those scenes. So scenes that were completely finished from the animator standards, he would go back and manipulate them and re-edit them and have them add things and have them change things and basically redo the scenes up to 5 times per scene, just because that's how much power he has at this point. Yeah. He's able to tell people.
He's like,
are
you going to not do it? Because I'll get someone else that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's fair, right?
And apparently there was 3 to 6 months in the middle of the production of this movie. Sony Animation Studios said this was supposed to come out in April 2022, I think is when it was. But then it got delayed a year or so, year plus, and they blamed it on COVID. But what these animators said was that Lord, this Phil Lord guy, went and started meddling in the middle when people were starting to wrap up the animated sequences and the story and all that stuff. He went in there and basically put all the animators on hold for 3 to 6 months as he twerked things. Tweaked? Twerked isn't the right word.
Twerk sounds good.
Twerk is a dance move, I'm pretty sure.
It was just twerking his ass on the keyboard.
He's twerking on the keyboard.
Boom, boom, boom. I got this movie on lock. Fuck the animators. I'm going to twerk the shit out of this movie.
That's basically what he did to the hearts of the animators. He was twerking the shit out of them.
So are they're upset that all their hard work just got redone over and over again?
Well, they're mad at that. They're mad at the fact that they're not getting paid overtime. The fact that they're still being told.
They weren't getting paid overtime.
I don't know if they are or not, but I mean, they didn't mention the pay, but at the very least, they were being forced to work overtime, a lot of overtime. And
just to keep the job.
Yeah, because I mean, they had to quit. 100 animators quit. The ones who stayed, they had some interviews with them too, saying well, this is the industry, this is what people sign up for.
I think that's kind of where I was headed, even though I hate it.
It's an argument, but the fucked up thing is half the article talks about how the Sony Animation Studios people are saying no, that didn't happen. Lord didn't do that. We didn't delay it. It was the pandemic. And it was basically everything they said is a lie. And then the other half is yeah, but we really work them hard. We did some reshoots. This is just the industry. If you don't want to be in it, get out of it, sort of thing. And
that's
which one is it?
The truth.
The first one's a lie, though, right? I think the second part is the truth. They just forgot they needed to stop talking towards the second part of the article.
I think it's probably a little column A, a little column B. I think people on both sides are hey, I'm the one with the money. Fuck you. You're going to pay. You're going to do it. And then the people that are working are but I have a life and I don't want to do this 24 hours a day. I just want to do it for a regular life. And then the other side's but that's not what this job is. This job is 12 hours a day. And so I think there's, people don't want to hear that because they want to work normal hours. So God forbid they have a regular life.
Yeah.
Right. I think the arguments are right on both sides because ultimately, do you want the job or not? I mean, I don't know.
The thing that kind of sucks, though, is they do make the argument that when people sign up for it, they try to communicate that this is what's going to happen towards the end. But at the same time, there's no way to clearly state what's going to happen because you don't want to scare people away, right? So they kind of, to some extent,
work, and when you're redoing work, that's the worst part. You got to I mean, that's
you're throwing away all the shit that you thought was awesome and you put a lot of work into, and it's basically deleted now, and you have to
and now you're a loser
more boring
because you have to do it again, even though you did it perfect. And you're basically saying "fuck you."
Mm-hmm. So this is an article in Vulture.
Yeah. It's a very good article.
By Chris Lee, where he got like 4 of the animators to talk to them.
Yeah, that's what I said. Thanks for reiterating how I started the thing, John.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank God we're getting it right at least. That's one good thing.
Doing is just following up on you Denny.
Okay,
just fact checking you a little. That's
I'm glad.
So.
We're gonna start fact checking me 300 plus episodes into these things. I could just be blowing smoke in your asses.
Just for the record, I'm not. Okay, I'm not. That's a John thing only.
Is it trust or is it laziness, TC? Which one is it?
This is a John. It's trust. It's
okay,
trust.
thank you.
It's trust. Yeah, it's trust.
It's neither. It's me only being able to do one thing at a fucking time, where I'm sitting here trying to read about this stuff as you're going on about it. So I just missed it. That's all.
You're supposed to
pay attention,
just listen
John.
to me.
Yeah.
I know.
That's why I'm doing it. So we can talk
all the
about
time.
it. Yeah.
I can only listen to you so much.
Well,
I can't handle these working conditions.
This is what we signed up for, John. I warned you about this at the beginning.
John. This is the
job.
It
was supposed to be 250 movies.
Oh, joke's on you.
500. This isn't acceptable.
I warned you it might go over by an episode or 150.
Or 2. Maybe we'll watch one other. I don't know.
I mean, that's a tough situation because I see both sides. And I also think that when people are burned out like that, they don't think straight.
Right.
And they get
They're just like
angry.
fuck this. I don't care about anything. I need to go to sleep.
Right. And on top of it, if you're doing your full 10 and then you're doing an extra 2 OT, you're making pretty good money 7 days a week. So if you do that, at some point, you're like, I quit because I don't need this anymore. And then ultimately, that's your right. I mean, because if they're union, they're not going to be working more than the 10-hour day,
unless they get
without
overtime.
some extra pay, right?
So they have to be. I mean, there isn't animation
with
studio
this kind
union,
of money. This is a union shoot, union movie, union everything. So I can't imagine them not making some good cheddar off this, and they just didn't want this whole 7 days a week thing.
That is very understandable. Yeah,
right. But at the same time, it's like take your money. Or
the thing that sucks too about it is everyone who quit, like part of the reason a lot of them didn't quit, and the people that did quit, they were worried about it, is that they knew that if they left, someone else was going to have control over everything they did. So they were basically...
Plus, it's going to take the credit for what they did.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, right? So it seems like it was a pretty tough decision. But the reason why we'll know whether or not this is true or not, and I guess that it sounds like we kind of downplayed how true it was. This might just be normal working conditions towards the end of a production. But, I mean, Lord sounded like a dick, and he might just be a dick, and that might be why his movies make money. You know, we see these control freak assholes in charge of productions, and that kind of works sometimes, you know?
Right. Well, they were fired from the Han Solo movie. Did you say that already and I didn't listen?
No.
Like they were
good thing you're reading too, John.
That one. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like these guys could just be assholes too.
Right. Yeah, there's different versions on that, but like there was a Hollywood Reporter article was saying that they were taking way too long to do stuff, and they would shout out new lines to the cast as they were filming. So yeah,
you know,
they're so funny.
The industry's full of shitheads, and
these ones are making money, so they're going to keep making money.
That's true. And people will sign up. You think people are going to sign up for this?
So what they're saying? No. So the thing is, they had a lot. They grew the production team by a lot. They were supposed to keep the same number, but the over 1,000 is like a very, very large team. Over 1,000 people working on the production of this movie. The 100 animators gone is going to severely affect, if in fact 100 animators left, which is like the fact that 100 animators left is something that Sony Animation Studios specifically said is not true. But we will see if it is true if it gets delayed past the March 2024 release date, which is what they're promising right now. Because there is no other reason that it would get delayed, I think, right? If they're like promising that due date already, unless we have another pandemic. There's another pandemic. I don't know.
There's a million reasons.
In my mind, if it gets delayed, like movies don't get delayed frequently. Really, they don't. Video games do. Other stuff might. Movies do not. No. When they give you a release date, they almost like always come out on time.
Yeah, they meet the demand.
Yeah. So if it gets delayed, in my mind, 100%, it's because the animators quit and Sony Animation Studios lied about it. So
I wouldn't doubt that they lied about it no matter what. They're going to lie about all of it. It's a PR department.
Right.
You know, that's what they do for their job.
Yeah. That's how it felt too. But the article was really interesting because it had a lot of different people's perspectives. It wasn't just the 4 animators that they were talking to.
No, it's a real story. Yeah. That's good stuff. I mean, you know, these things happen every day. Welcome to the industry. It's fucking bullshit.
On the technical side of things, or like so like, I mean, that happened with, I forget, Whereas the special effects crews would like work overtime and then just be fired too, like right after, or not paid what they were supposed to be paid. So yeah,
It's times for all
super
the people
talented
coming
people
up.
just getting the shit
Yeah,
end of the
good luck.
stick all the time.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good luck. Have fun.
God, that's gonna be somewhat aggravating.
But
To any
I mean,
animator listening, you're the reason these movies are good.
Happens in
Yeah.
video games too a lot. Too.
Happens
You get
across the board.
A lot of program, a lot of on the tech side. It just you're somehow somewhat expendable in a way.
Mhm. Even though you're the one who's making the product that everyone else is selling.
Right.
Crazy. Gotta love capitalism, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have some other trivia.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Since this is a new movie, I've kind of gone into watching YouTube interviews with people and some things that people have made.
It's very
for the movie
modern of
already.
you.
Yeah. Don't worry,
How
I'll
contemporary.
get the commentary track when it comes out.
Okay.
So I kind of already talked about this, but the move away from the Pixar look, they call it anti-realism, is what they call it right now. And they said, and John, you might have a good idea of what this means, but they have to break the physically based engine. They had to break their physically based engine they had for the rendering they would do normally. So instead of like, I think when you animate something, they showed some graphics of like, all right, you have an animated thing and you run it through some shaders and filters and physics things, and it does all these things based on
It's
the
all
rules
automated.
of physics
It's
that
like
we have
make
in
this
this world.
like make this look like light, or make this like bounce the way it should bounce, or make this reflect the way it would reflect in real life. And all of that's like hardwired in. That's like stuff that you're built in, basically. Like you have a rendering engine, you're like, I'll put my object there, I'll set my light here. And a lot of the other stuff will be just calculated automatically for you. Well, this is how the light should reflect, and this is how things should look. And so when they're talking about breaking it, they're saying then that they're basically overwriting that stuff, or just redoing that, turning that stuff off and building how they want it to reflect themselves.
Yeah, and they showed some examples. Like it's pretty obvious in this one. A lot of the light sources, it's not just a regular light source. They have those little Kirby dots, right, that are like on the outside of it to make it look more like a comic book. For shading, they do like lines a lot of the time instead of like a gradual shade. Apparently that was hard, and they had to do it stylistically and with intent, right? Because they have to go in there and take, they probably did this with even just the lighting engine by itself. They probably had a bunch of different customized ways to break it, depending on what they wanted to do. I'm kind of asking a question here, John, if that's possible.
Yeah. No, well, it's all programming. It's all like shaders and stuff, and what you do with like these physics engines and stuff. So you can, and who knows if they're like rewriting their own from scratch, or they're just going in and instead of breaking it, they're tweaking settings and tweaking things inside. So maybe they're doing stuff that's more like you. I don't know this software and stuff, but if it's like game engine software or whatever, there's a lot of stuff you can just do out of the box. It's really easy to do, and you can set it up in Unreal or whatever, and it can do pretty fantastic things. But then you can custom and program your own stuff. That's not necessarily really hard to do either if you know what you're doing, like with like graphics programming and things like that. So, but they probably, at the high end, maybe there's a lot of stuff that just they want to do stuff that they want to do it at a really high level, and yet it's not out of the box for these programs. So they have to build parts of it themselves. So.
And does that sound totally unique, or is that probably a part of all animated movie productions? They made it sound like it was unique.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that seems to be part of that. That's sort of where you get creative with video games and things like that. People create their own custom shaders and their own things to like sort of have materials behave in different ways. So I wouldn't necessarily call it like some kind of like new invention or whatever. They had a look they were going for. They decided to do it in a certain way. Maybe they've done it in a way that nobody's done it before, but these tools allow you to do things like that too. So it's not like necessarily, So
when they say they broke
like
the engine,
ground.
are they really just going into like the advanced settings and tweaking what's already there?
Well, no, they're probably programming their own version of settings that are,
they might be building some of their own parts. So I don't know, so they're talking about breaking the engine.
I'm just trying to figure out if I should be impressed or not, because I was.
You should.
Now I'm on the fence.
You should, because essentially they're making their own situation based on what they already have at the very least. So like it's still unique to them.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're doing. They established a look that nobody else was doing.
Right.
And I don't care how they did it, whether they tweaked something that was existing, they built something on their own. It doesn't really matter in that they had a vision and they were able to achieve it, and it works really well. And aside from maybe moms, it's resonating really well with
God damn it, Mom. Why'd you hate it so bad?
Well, it's because they tweaked their own version, clearly. I mean, they just have a sixth sense. They can tell.
But it really is cool. And you see it like, again, you see other people are starting to emulate that somewhat, which is cool. In a way, it's neat because it certainly like opens the floodgates for people saying, like, you don't have to make this look real. You don't need to try to be realistic sort of with the computer animation stuff. You can do whatever if you want, and people will like it.
I have a feeling that that's the hopeful point of view, and I thought about that for a second, but I really just think instead of having just the Pixar look, and now them opening it up for anything, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be the Pixar look, and now it's also going to be the Spider-Man look.
Right,
There'll be two looks instead of one.
That's what I saw. Like, go watch Puss in Boots because you'll see it. It's like you'll see where they're actively trying to be like Spider-Man.
Really, and it doesn't work.
It really sticks out. No, it doesn't.
But you said it was good though.
Oh, it's a fun.
Well, the movie's good.
The movie's
but not that part.
It's not like the most amazing thing ever. It's fun though. It's entertaining.
Okay.
But it doesn't fit when they do that. Another. But there's another. It's just a cartoon series on Disney Channel called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and they do this with cartoon styles. It's really good actually, and their fight scenes are music videos, which I really like too. But they're super stylized animation, and it works really well for that because again, it's comic book. It has really good music too. But so you can see that people can adopt that style just in more of a TV format too, and it works really well. But you're right. You can sort of pick up when it's that style, I guess. It's the combination, though. That's why it works so well for this stuff. And maybe it'll open the gates for some people to just try to fit the look to the thing they're doing more, rather than worrying about, for a long time, it seems like with Pixar or whatever, what was cool was how realistic it could look, but still not, but still look appealing. You don't want to look, sometimes you make it too realistic. It looks really, makes you uncomfortable.
Uncanny Valley.
Right.
Territory.
But arguably, so that's where they're sort of like saying they went in a different direction. Like when they're talking about the Pixar approach is just like, you just get it just looks really, really cool. It looks really smooth, really polished, really like is looking very realistic in its setting. And to just go sideways from that and be like, we're not going after realism here. We're going after something that's artistic.
I think the best thing we had to say about Toy Story 3 was how good the trees looked when we watched it. The trees in the clouds. It was fantastic. Everything.
Great job.
Yeah.
The animators
damn real.
The animators didn't quit that job. That was a cushy gig, right?
Take as long as you want. This is going to make
take as long as you want.
$1
We just need the trees and the clouds.
Do you want to hear? So this is I'm going to do a John here and read from the Wikipedia page, but this one is cool.
All right, go me.
Spider-Punk's animation style alone took 2 to 3 years to finish and is inspired by collage imagery of 1970s punk rock album covers, posters, and zines, emulating the look of Xerox prints, colored papers, and images appropriated from magazines and newspapers, and had a general grayed-out quality due to copy machines not having toner in them. Also, the animators experimented with different frame rates in order to reflect DIY punk visuals and Spider-Punk's anarchic personality of tendency of inconsistency. His body is animated on 3s or 2s, 8 or 12 images, his guitar on 4s, 6 images, and his outline on 2s or 1s, 12 or 24 images, unlike the rest of the characters that are predominantly animated on 2s.
I have no idea what that just means.
So that's per the 24 frames per second. Usually if you're doing like a stop motion type of flow like this movie does, you do 12 frames a second. It gives it that kind of juddery animated look that these movies have.
Okay.
And doing it so all of those are on 2s. So every 2 images are the same. So you basically have 12 images per the 24 frames in a second for that.
There we go.
And this one on the 1s or 2s mean like everything else is going 2, 2, 2 on a grid. His animation, since you have the 24 frames, is like off. They're doing it purposely off and they're doing odd numbers.
He's a rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. Now that made much more sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just needed to keep talking.
Yeah. Just needed to reframe it from the, context.
Whatever the fuck I said in the first part. Yeah.
Is that just,
right.
I mean, I think of the Sex Pistols album covers. Are there other punk bands that did that look?
I mean, it was a magazine thing. I remember like there were old punk magazines where like people would literally, the magazine would be from a Xerox machine and they would just staple it together. And that was the magazine.
Cool.
What else we got for trivia? Gwen's world was a mood ring. All the animation style and colors were all based on Gwen's mood specifically.
Oh, nice.
Whenever she was sad, it was like blue, and the background was like kind of smushed together
There's
Interesting.
at least like one noticeable sequence too, where as her mood changes, the colors would dynamically change. Like when her dad comes and hugs her, and it's like
It
this
works
wash.
consistently throughout the movie. It's just you don't pay attention to it because it works.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
really
it's good
noticed
stuff.
it in that one
That's
scene.
really
I thought
cool.
it was really cool, but now I need to look at the other stuff.
And there's a
But
lot
yeah.
of different. They have a couple more here, but they talk about how every character kind of had their own little animation style, and all the worlds had like all these themes that were going on in the background stylistically. The Lego animation scene was done by a 14-year-old kid by himself.
God
Whoa.
Apparently, for the trailer for the first movie, this kid recreated. It was either the first or the second one. He recreated the trailer with stop motion Legos. And
Jesus.
Lord Miller saw it and loved it so much, they just, gave the kid a chance. He's like, all right, make a scene for the movie. And they put
And
it
he
in.
did.
He did.
God
Fucking
damn.
hell.
Awesome.
What an awesome thing that is.
Yep.
No, redo
Like-
it, kid. That's not right. You
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
redo
yeah.
this.
But you know what? We need you back in. We need
to
you
go to bed.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No,
Is he
no,
one
like-
of the animators? We need to know.
I don't know.
Is he on the credits? I mean, he
Is
might
he?
be. He's got it.
No,
He's
I
got
just
to be,
wanted to be in
right?
the credits. I just was wondering, he was one of the ones that got worked too hard.
Yeah, that's
all.
right.
Oh,
That's what I
he
meant.
quit?
Yeah, is he one of the ones that quit? Yeah. I can't do it anymore,
I
Lord.
can't do it, man. I didn't
Yeah.
sign up for this shit.
His name is
I just wanted to make a trailer. I didn't know that it was going to be this crazy.
Preston Mutanga, Canadian animator, 14 years old. Freaking
Jesus.
nuts.
Good for him.
Unreal.
Yeah.
If you didn't think your life was past you now, you do.
You did it. You did the best thing you'll ever do, little buddy.
Oh,
Enjoy it.
That's a really.
No, I meant for us, Guy.
I was gonna say, yeah.
If you didn't think your life was
Nah.
past you, now you do.
There you go.
They didn't have a script when they were casting. A lot of the people just got calls because the first one was so successful, and they knew they had a general idea of who they wanted to be the characters. Like the guy who did the I forget his name, but he's the Indian Spider-Man.
Mhm.
He just got a call and did some like over the phone clips for himself. Like they told him what to do, and he actually auditioned the last Miles Morales speech from the first movie as like part of his audition. They were just using the first script for the second
Right.
movie, but they took some lines of dialogue and they were apparently using that guy's voice to like set up scenes, and they was like playing so much in the background. He thinks he got it because they got used to his voice because they were using it to like block the movie and set up the storyboard.
And they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
now we
So,
can't get rid of it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
It's like
It
we're
just
animating
feels
to him.
comfortable.
It sounds good. Let's get him.
He was great. Anyway, so
Yeah, he was.
but everybody seemed to be cast really well for the.
Did
as
you
far as the voices
did you look up who it was?
No.
He's
Who
the,
is
the
it?
cab driver friend in Deadpool.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What was it?
Dopinder,
That's
I think,
wonderful.
in Deadpool.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that guy.
I hope Deadpool 3 is good.
Oh, is there
That's
going to be a
coming
third
out,
one?
so- Oh, yeah. It's coming
Oh.
out this year.
Oh, wow. It's going to be a hot year for movies. COVID's over, baby.
Except there's a writer's strike. Remember?
Oh, God damn it.
Actually, no.
This
I'm
year's
sorry.
gonna be good.
I'm
Next
sorry.
year's gonna suck.
May next year. May next year.
Good. They should
So-
stretch
so
out
no.
all the movies that are going to come out because we're going to
Yeah.
need them to be stretched out because they're going to run
There's
out
not
of
gonna-
stuff.
There's not going to be much stuff soon.
Jameek Moore, who plays the voice of Miles Morales, Lord Miller, saw the movie Dope. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's a very good movie.
Mm-mm.
He's in it, and they liked it so much that they called him up for tryouts. Dope got him a role. Like Dope was kind of an indie hit. And I think it was at Sundance and stuff, but it wasn't a big money maker, and not a lot of people have seen it. And that was his biggest movie before this. So
Wow.
from that
How about that,
to this. Yeah.
It's awesome when that happens.
Yep.
2015 movie, huh?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
It's very good. Oh, I wanted to ask a question. Speaking so highly of the sound in most of the movie, I saw this movie twice in 2 different theaters, and I had a hard time hearing Gwen's kind of monologue in the beginning sequence.
I actually did as well. I thought that was maybe just the theater.
I thought it was
So
the theater
that's
the first
interesting.
time, but because I was checking the second time, I'm like, I still can't hear it. It's the mixing.
What the hell? It was.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was going to be. I put it out of my mind and didn't think anything of it, but I thought oftentimes the dialogue was just a bit too low.
Apparently, there was some sound issues that many viewers are complaining about not being able to hear the dialogue. It was getting a fix.
Really?
Oh,
There's a
interesting.
June-
So
June
they
9th
fucked up the
post.
mixing for the final
Right.
product.
Somebody's
Yeah,
fucked
it
up.
looks like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I thought so. Like it was in both theaters, and I thought maybe just like the theaters that I went
June
to,
1st.
I mean, but they test them in theaters. Like theaters have standards for mixing sound, right? And the theaters they tested at to check the mixing, they tested in similar theaters. So it wouldn't just be like that theaters have more mid or low end or whatever that might muddy it, because they would have been able to check that.
Well, they don't check it. They mix in a theater.
Yeah.
And then they just
and the
hope
theaters
it
they send it
translates.
to are shittier theaters. But I go to like, like the really good ones. Like I went to the San Francisco, like they had Dolby Atmos and whatever the hell.
Mixy, right? Yeah,
They may have just fucked up, man.
They sent out a remix.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
when?
They didn't test it in enough. So around June 4th.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that didn't make it its way to all the different.
How does everybody get the updated?
Yeah, because they don't know. Like, it's not like it's online. They get like what's called a DCP, and then they have it in their system. So then they play it through that. So they would have to
So what is that? Just the USB drive they send it? Like, what are they? How do they do that?
There's it's a whole thing. Digital cinema package, I think is what it's called.
In particular, the opening voiceover.
See, I can watch movies. I can do it, guys. That's right.
So it's what they send all. It's what they send all theaters. So somebody fucked up. That's all. Maybe it just didn't. I don't know.
Where are you reading this, John? Are you on Reddit, or is this like an actual news thing?
No. Part of it is that they weren't. It's part of it. They were the projectionists were told they needed to play it at full volume because of the way the mix was, and that wasn't happening. So this is like a looper.
Oh, right. So they weren't turning it up to full volume.
Right. Mine
was kind of loud. I'm kind of glad they didn't. Jesus.
I mean, mine. It seemed loud except for the dialogue. So something was fucked up. That's interesting. Now I'm not. I figured it was just my theater.
I thought it might be a style, because then you have like Christopher Nolan movies where he does this, where he just over mixes the music over the dialogue. Like he did it in Tenet and he did it in Interstellar. And he does it on purpose, because I think he wants you to like lean into your TV, or at least be confused, because his movies don't make any goddamn sense. So like he doesn't want you paying attention that much to the dialogue.
I think that's more it. Yeah,
like, listen to this Hans Zimmer score, huh? Let's forget about what these fuckers are talking about for a second.
How about that tone? Yeah, you don't even need to hear what he says. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense anyway. Don't worry.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy.
So it looks like the update came June 9th. Maybe.
So after we saw
it released, so
before June 9th, I saw it second time.
Before we saw it.
When did they get all the updates?
Right, they probably just didn't update it.
How quickly does that propagate?
And in a theater, like the movie's already like 3 weeks in, it's not filling up theaters. They moved it out of the IMAX. It's like in one of the smaller ones. Like, just forget about it. It's fine.
Just keep showing it.
No one's complaining about it here
until it shows up.
Right. Also, it's doing it's doing well. So it's like,
so it doesn't matter.
It's not like people are walking out.
And then each theater probably has its own management that's like, fuck it. No one cares. We're not going to go through the motions.
Are they complaining here? Yeah. You get any complaints?
No.
Nope.
Cool.
We're
Never
good.
mind.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah. Yeah. Lazy fucks. Yeah.
The Spider-Verse team mixed the movie at volume reference level of 7. And I heard several theaters this weekend at 7. They sounded great. Apparently there's a reference volume number, and other theaters were playing it lower than that. I have no idea how this all works. I know nothing.
Is that like a -7 dB?
I don't know.
What's the loudness number? Yeah. I mixed the podcast to -16. Is -7 some kind of loudness number?
They have a different loudness.
It just says a volume reference level of 7. I have no idea what that means.
I mean,
they might be not doing the dialogue at 0, right? They're doing it at -7. So
this is from Variety, where Lord was like tweeting out to people, "Hey, Spider-Verse fans, if you get to the theater early, go tell them to play it at reference volume 7."
Oh, so they need.
Or if they complain, or 7.5.
Well, there's also like normalization stuff that some of these things have. So like it could be a number of things. Who knows what he's talking about?
Yeah.
We'll just tell people on the podcast that are listening to go look it up.
Dude, that's Lord? He's still, the movie's releasing and he's still telling people what to do. God damn, this guy's a fucking control freak.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. God
do what I say.
I'm on 7.
People on Twitter, do what I say. Fuck. I love power. I think that's all I had for the podcast.
All right.
For the trivia.
All right, good.
Yeah, look at that. Hitting an hour, even though there's no commentary or anything like that. Yeah. I'm excited for next week.
Does it make the 250 list? I think it does.
It does.
Oh yeah.
Is it the 12th best movie ever made? I liked it a lot. I'm not sure I'd say that.
I think it's just unique. There's nothing else like it.
It'll
I think
probably
nothing has ever been this high. The highest movie we've seen that's come out since 7 years ago, since we started this podcast, believe it or not, is Parasite, and that is in the 30s right now. I think it topped off at like 22.
Yeah,
This was 11 when it first came out. Now it's at 12.
Well, there's nothing else much like it, I guess. So what can
Except
you
for the
say?
first one, which is in the top 100.
Right.
Right.
Fucking A, man.
It's crazy. And next week, Mission Impossible is coming out, guys.
Hey,
let's go back to the theater. I'm going to the theater.
I'm down.
Really?
I'm down.
I have not seen like the last however 3 or 4 of those.
Spend your entire week catching up, John. Those movies are fantastic.
Yeah, they're just action films, right? I mean,
they're good.
They're really good. Though. They're like the best action films.
Yeah, they're real good.
Yeah, better than Mad Max Fury Road.
No, they're
not the best.
They're tiered down. They're right below Mad Max. They're so good.
Well, let's correct your best.
They're the best.
All right, so we're going to the theater and we're gonna watch that one, huh?
Well, but we might do that
next week.
After next week, so we should. I think next week we should go back to the list and do Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay. That sounds like a good one. I did the ride at at Disneyland. So
is it like
I obviously know what the whole story is.
Yeah, it's like a minecart ride, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a great one.
DC continues singing through. I
don't know it.
Oh, you don't know it? Okay.
Yeah.
Next week we'll have him sing it.
I'll start the podcast off with the song.
Have you seen this one, TC? You've seen this one, right?
No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark? You've not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So it's going to be a funny one.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's going to be hilarious.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so TC has to go again first next week because he hasn't seen it.
Okay, all right. Either that or I'll have it recorded, one of the two. Yeah.
What?
Right. The little theme song.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, talk to you guys next week.
All right,
guys. Take care.
See ya.
Stop